Hi, hi, hi! Week 2, and we are back in the workroom. Post-runway, people are looking about at what's just happened. Releasa puts it into words that there are people ready to compete. Chanel is doing her best to give us villain, calling some people minced dinner. As Tatiana would say, choices. Back in the workroom, we have some chit-chat, some shade, and then RuPaul comes in, adorned in red tartan. It's time to get into teams. Everyone seemed super confused by 4 teams of 3. It's drag, not maths, babe. Don't try and confuse us. Everyone finds their own teams for the Fashion House Challenge. Sewing day! We need a lady boss, cocktail party, and a red carpet look for each collection. They've all got into teams, not realising it's a sewing challenge. Of course! And are reconsidering their choices immediately. We get Team Basement, Game Room, Disco Room, and Spa Room out of Rue's dusty old box. I can only imagine what else is in there. The girls go find their materials and immediately start questioning their life choices, particularly Team Game Room. They're doing PMA, gassing each other up despite not being sewing queens to try and get into the right mindset. Team Zen, under Chanel's, I'm not going to say bossy, but bossy direction, separate out all their materials. Now the game playing starts. A little bit of mental warfare, but they're trying it with Lavoie, who, having competed against her a long time ago in Drag Idol, is lovely, but does not play. Octavia gets red for filth for her brows by Rue, who, of course, has perfect boy brows. So, House of Cards, Stella McCartney, Mirrors, and Zen all get hints and tips from Rue. The shade keeps coming to Chanel, with Rue calling her such a bitch. Sometimes Rue is giving you advice even when she isn't. You just have to listen. The queens all start cutting, sewing, testing ideas. Chanel continues the mind game. Lavoie, as Mother Goose, shushes her. This sort of behaviour is honestly my least favourite. It immediately red flags for me, mostly because it's the girls who are slightly insecure, so they build themselves up by trying to undermine other people. Focus on your own stuff and let other people do their thing. That's a message for Zahira too. You have to get your stuff done and be ready. Team Zen are actually working really well together. They're making everything as a team, genuinely working together. Team Stella McCartney are not quite working as well. Lavoie sewing up all the necessaries and Kiki not having any of the necessaries. Next day in the workroom starts with running, jogging, and crutches. The place is like a scene from Get Your Own Back. For those of you who don't remember, that's a 90s kids show. Saki Yu, our Aussie Filipino princess, has had a slip in the shower and has to go home to look after herself. Saki, we love you. Everyone springs into action, finishing everything off. Kiki Snatch has fallen into the trap of changing design over and over and over again. House of Mirrors are slightly off kilter because of Saki's early departure. But on the bodies, they look like they've hit the brief. Finishing touches all done. It's runway prep time. Chara and Kiki chatting to Lavoie in the mirror. She tells us about how she got started back in the good old days and what her journey into drag has been like, her reputation and how she feels about the industry now. Drag definitely did have that reputation for being a bit naff 20 years ago. It's funny that she says, you know, it had a reputation for being a fella in a dress with a boa singing Big Spender. Which neither her nor I have ever done that. Droopy Gussets to the runway! Rue is in blue and red metallic open front dress. with matching boots. I love this, and yes, I'm going to critique the dress. That's why we're here, hey. The bow is really high, and it throws off the neckline. I think if it was a little bit lower, it would be a slightly more flattering shape. That's what I think. Her face, as ever, is flawless. Michelle looks banging, and we're joined this week by Graham Norton and his secret passage, and of course, Kristen McMahon is me, in a stunning purple outfit with a crystal waterfall. The platter hand is back. Is this a new runway, Rue? Is this a new thing? Zahira is first down the runway in a tube dress with a boat neck, a small draped piece over her shoulder and gauntlets. Okay, the dress is simple, but it fits great. And her face looks stunning. The white blonde with it is great. Is it a cocktail dress? Yeah. Do the cards work? Not so much. Maybe if there'd been card earrings and a card clutch or belt, that would have worked better. She does look great though. And those legs. Kiran Thrax as Lady Boss. I like this. It's a clear idea and it plays on the man at work shirt and tie idea. The only thing that doesn't seem to work for me is the pattern of the fabric on the front where it's been sewn together. This sort of velour, it lays in a different direction. So what could have been an almost invisible seam is really visible, and it gives more mistake as an impression rather than intentional. If there were more pieces laid in different directions, then I think that would have worked better for me. But it's a super strong look. Octavia's red carpet. Okay, cards on the table. This isn't great. The waist up works beautifully. The bottom half, not as much. Maybe there wasn't enough fabric for it, but a longer skirt or a wide leg, tailored pant, something like that would have looked great. I'd have had 2 drape moments as well, one for each side. Then again, I'd have used the extra cards for accessories. The panties are way too small down the front. There's a little bit of something going on there. Charity, we have an animal print and an asymmetric dress with big bin bag puff sleeves. I really like this. I wish the skirt was a touch longer and possibly weighted at the bottom so it doesn't ride up as much. But the knickers do cover and match at least. The only other thing is the red accessories would have worked a bit better with a red belt rather than a black belt. It's a really decent offering though. Okay, now we have Lavoie, an animal print blouse with a black vinyl pencil skirt. The blouse has a drape over one shoulder. It's clearly the thing this season. Ooh. She arrived with a fluffy tiger print muff and a bag, which are immediately discarded. They work for a story, but they're a bit meh. The cheetah blouse has toy cheetah paws sewn to it. I hate them. I really hate them. I like the look overall, but the paws are cheap and they cheapen the look for me. For someone who doesn't know how to sew though, this is a great offering. You know, she has all her stuff made for her usually. And I do think this look is great, bar the paws. What they might have been better as is as the belt. Emptied out of the wadding and then used as a belt. Kiki Snatch! Rue said it best. This is giving E.T. drag moment. Individually, any of these pieces could have been used to build a look around it. The fluffy heart as the top is a great start. The way it's been put together is just not great. Her makeup is, and she does a great job of selling this dumpster dive ensemble. Dita Garbo, a silver two-piece and bra. Loads of details in this, from the headpiece to the clutch to the panels. It's great. The only bit that doesn't seem to work so well is the midriff. It feels a little exposed. A sheer blouse would have finished this off perfectly. The amount of work and detail in this, though, is super impressive. Release of Slaves, up next. In this purple halter neck. This is such a simple design for the dress, which works perfectly for the fabric. All the details work really well, from the headpiece to the clutch, the silver and purple belt, to the VIP ropes that are being used as a boa. For me, this is a brilliant look that really hits the brief. Chanel O'Connor is next up. The shape of this is great. I like the asymmetrical neckline, which perfectly fits under the arm. That is not easy to do without having a pre-existing pattern. The skirt fits beautifully. I maybe would have taken the split more to the side rather than stop it in the front of the leg, but either way it works well. I'm not super keen on the pale blue fabric at the neck. I'd have tried to use more of the main dress fabric. I don't like the voile coming off the cloak over the right arm because it looks a bit cheap. The top kind of looks a bit cheap up here. But then when you your eye moves to the bottom and you see it sequins, it makes more sense. So maybe double over the layers, and that would have made it look more expensive and also make more sense. It's a great shape though, and she looks beautiful. Lil is next up with a very Marlene Dietrich look. I love a pant. I love a wide pant even more. And I think a high waist wide pant is my favourite of all time. So it's not going to shock you really that I love this look. The baby blue suit with the details of the lines in the fabric being put together to give the lengthening effect. And Lil just looks super strong and super feminine, even with a little pencil moustache drawn on. The sparkly top hat and oversized clutch bag finish the look off beautifully. I tip my hat to you. Marmalade is next up. I prefer jam usually, but today I want more marmalade. This is beautiful. We used to have a load of Urte pictures and figurines in our house, and she looks like one of those come to life. The draping and shaping of this is stunning. The feathery headpiece and the wig, it's just gorgeous, and it's clear that she understands how to dress for her body. Her makeup is also gorgeous. I really like on this episode that everyone gets a second showing on the runway too. A new and cute little addition. We're left on stage with the tops and bottoms of the week. Not sure what happens, but Lavoie's name isn't called. And yet, off she pops backstage anyway. I can't possibly be at the bottom. Bye! Zahira, Octavia, Kiki, Chanel, Lil and Marmalade are left on stage. Chanel is being critiqued and praised by the judges. She emphasises how the team had worked collectively and promptly throws Lil under the bus, claiming credit for basically everything Lil is wearing. How to make friends and influence people was clearly not on this year's reading list. Back to the workroom to untuck quickly. And the girls are chatting and making friends. And strategies. Kiki is super disappointed, which is sad, but it's not great. We keep getting crotch shots of Octavia, and it's not as even as you may hope. It's clear who is in the bottom and who is in the top, and who is feeling like they made a mistake with what they've done. With Saki's early departure, no one is leaving this week. So it means that Team Zen are the tops and they get to lip sync for the win. Lil wins the badge, and honestly, I think that was fair. From what we saw, but from Untucked, we know that's going to give us some more spice next week. So, I'll see you then. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and let me know which team you're on so far. See you soon. Bye!